Hey, it's Landon J. This week I released a video about the 165th Infantry Brigade's Lightning Institute. I made this video because a friend sent me a link to some footage and asked if I'd make a hype video to highlight some great work by members of his unit. I really enjoy making these type of videos, so obviously I said yes. So today, I thought we would talk about my process, specifically about how I make a video using somebody else's footage. First thing I'm going to do is go through the footage and see what I have. Pictures, videos, just open it up, get an idea for the media I have to work with in this project. Once I get an idea of what the content looks like, I then reach out to the client and talk about the direction they're looking for in the video. In this case, he wanted to highlight his new instruction program, specifically about teaching tactics and marksmanship to drill sergeants. He wanted to highlight skills in shoot, move, communicate, survive, and adapt. I knew I had to work these words into the final video. Now that I've had a good look at the footage and I've talked to the client, it's time to import the clips into DaVinci Resolve and drag them onto a timeline. Right now they're in no particular order. I just want to get everything onto the timeline and I will group them by category from there. Now that the clips are on the timeline, I'm going through clip by clip and dragging them into different buckets. The first bucket being kind of a general clip, like scene setter if you will. The next one being anything revolve around shoot. The next bucket higher than that is anything that revolves around move, communicate, survive, and adapt. Now that I have my clips separated by category, I can see what I have to work with. Right off the bat, I notice that I have a lot more clips for shoot than for any other category. Now that I have a good understanding of what clips I have to work with and about how long the video can be, it's time to switch gears to music. In my workflow for this kind of video, laying down music early is critical. When looking for a music track, don't get distracted by track length. You can always cut a track and make it longer or shorter depending on your need. Once I have a track picked out and downloaded, I put it onto my timeline. Okay, here you can see I laid the original track in. The track I picked is 2 minutes and 29 seconds, but I'm not making a 2-minute 29-second video. I'm making about a 30-second video. Let's take a quick listen to what it sounds like originally. We're not going to listen to the whole track, but I wanted you to get an idea of what it sounded like when I first downloaded it. I feel very confident that once I cut this track up, it'll be perfect for this video. All right, now that I've gone through and cut it down to what I want, you can see the drastic difference. The final track is about a quarter of the original track. When I cut this track out, I left the beginning the same, just cut out one small piece of it. But then I cut out a piece towards the end and inserted that next. As you can see, I'm circling it here with my mouse. This is the portion of the track that's playing at this point in time. In fact, I cut out and repeated a couple sections to make this part just a little bit longer. And instead of using the end of the track as the end for my video, I've actually switched up and used an earlier piece to finish out this track. As you can see where I'm circling now, that big dip on the right side of where I'm circling is what I use for the end. It's important to highlight that you can be as creative as you want when cutting both video and audio for your project. Let's move on. I have a rough draft of my final track laid in. I've laid some of the photos and video on top in an order that I think makes sense. Let's scroll through and take a quick look. It starts off with the unit crest to give you an idea who we're talking about. Next thing I want to do is tell the viewer what they're looking at. Next, I lay in the words shoot, move, communicate, survive, and adapt. That wording is just a placeholder. I know I want to use some words to describe the program to the viewer. We'll adjust these later and make them a little more pleasing to the eye. Next, I want to bring the viewer in with the instructor. We're going to start with him talking, and then we're going to move into some eye candy while his voice continues underneath. At this point, I'm cutting the visuals to the beat, then into a fade to black. Coming out of the fade to black, I'm going to have my friend's voice describing an overview of the program. On top of that description is going to be more eye candy for the viewer to keep them engaged. At the end of this draft, I'm just using another picture of the unit logo, but I will replace that with a better outro in the next version. All right, when it comes to organization, I have several tracks. Typically, I've got a main story 1, a main story 2. Then moving into audio, I've got special effects 1, special effects 2, then soundtrack 1 and soundtrack 2. All right, now it's time to clean things up a little bit. I've added a clockwise spin and then an RGB kind of separation effect to give it a little better look. I faded the word shoot in, and it's going to move rapidly right off screen as the soldier pulls the trigger. Now you're going to see small versions of the word move moving around the screen as the big move fades in behind the soldier running. I've now added a glitch effect to the word communicate and brought it down the screen. And now you're going to see survive and adapt come up one at a time from top to bottom and fade out into the instructor's voice and then his image.
These are all things that you need to be checking on your shooter when they get down in a good drone supported firing position.
Added a black bar to separate the split screens. Many of the shots that my friends sent me were vertical shots. When you can't zoom in and get a good composition, you have to have some creativity in how you use that photo. In this case, I put a black bar down the center and used it as a split screen. The other thing you might notice here is in my still shots, I've added a very, very slight zoom over the course of the photo to give some motion to these shots. Now we go to a shot of my friends, so you can put a face with the voice you've been hearing in this section, and we end it with a video version of their logo. Because this video version of the logo is a vertical clip, I have copied it, put it in the background, stretched it, and blurred it, so the colors and the lightning strike match both in the background and in the logo that you can see. Then I close the video out with a sound effect and a fade to black. And that basically wraps up my process. Let's take a look at the final video.
Stance, shooter gun angle. These are all things that you need to be checking on your shooter when they get down in a good drone supported firing position.
Lightning Institute is about professionalism and teachership to instill professional competence and personal confidence in our drill sergeants while teaching marksmanship instruction and tactics. Victory starts here.
I hope you enjoyed that look at my editing process. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. I put out a new video each week. You should subscribe so you don't miss any new content. Thanks for watching.